Discovery, go at throttle up. Discovery, go at throttle up.
Oh, what's going on? Early stream. How's everybody doing? This is part 31 of the Crew Cab Charger. I am EJ, your resident host, mechanic, gamer, space news, golf ball whacker guy. Hi. I still have the racing rig hooked up because I didn't unhook it last night. Oh well. I'm going to have to hook it up a little later in the day, but how's everybody doing? Hi, you are indeed EJ. Yeah, I'm going to start this one off with just a smidge of space news that I just saw posted. Look at this. Intuitive Machines just posted that. What? I too like flying jelly beans. Shaping the future of U.S. space manufacturing. We partnered with Space Forge to provide expertise that informs the design of our re-entry vehicle, enabling the precise return of semiconductors from orbit to Earth. I'm sorry? Did I read that correctly? U.S. space manufacturing, enabling the precise return of semiconductors from What the? It looks like a lifeboat. That is a lifting body. That's what that is. It's a lifting body machine. It is a machine that, where the fuselage is shaped. If you looked at this thing from the side, it would look like a wing. Straight up. I don't think they're cleaning up space trash, bros. I really don't think so. I think that is pioneering a re-entry vehicle for manufacturing on orbit. I would be very, very, very curious what the use case for this is. So, meaning, they say it's for space manufacturing and precise return of semiconductors from orbit. Okay. So, what type of... It's like that scene. What kind of American are you? What kind of semiconductors you making? You know? So, you're going to manufacture semiconductors on orbit. That's something that you need to mass produce, unless you're building a one-off, like, bespoke semiconductor that's very, very, very specific to a certain application. You're going to need a lot of these. So what's the scale plan here? You're going to need a lot of these re-entry vehicles. Where do they land? How do they get up there? Just genuinely curious questions. That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. That's very interesting. So this vehicle is presumably going to have to rendezvous. It's going to have to perform rendezvous proximity operations, right? It's going to have to. So it's going to need to get near something or be berthed. I don't see any docking port on that except for whatever that is up there. I'm very curious about this. You know what? I'm gonna put that one up there for space news. And we're gonna go from there. That's very interesting. The semi-type. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Space Forge micrograph. Very, very interesting. Look at this. Oh. That is not what I had in mind for doing that. They're going to launch the factory into space in the form of a disposable service module? Huh. ignition. Okay. All right. That's more viable, but I'm curious how you're going to do that in scale. You're going to build a factory on the ground to build a factory that goes into space to make semiconductors in space. You're going to build a factory to make a factory that's the disposable factory that goes on orbit, and then bring the manufactured product back and dispose of the factory that your factory made. Interesting. Okay. We'll read about that a little bit more. But it's time to work on the car. Okay, Alucard, I'll get into that. That's very... Uh-oh. McGregor time. We heard the moo. What's going on with McGregor? Hello. Hey, baby. I see you're a closed cycle gas generator. I'm an open cycle gas generator. How you doing? See that truck? There be rocket engines in that truck. Stop staring at her butt, Vin. That's my job. Cool. All right, sweet. Are you guys ready to rock? Let's do this. We got 2 hours until we got to start KSP. So let's get out into the shop and let's get going. Shop is good. Cameras are all on. A little early for rocket pornography. No. It's never too early. It's not early. We're on Mars hours or something. You know, nozzle extension looks extra stubby. You don't need the nozzle for testing the stage down here. In fact, I would not put the nozzle on there for testing stages down here. Methane, it'll explode. Yeah, you heard that right. That vacuum optimized nozzle does not work well in the atmosphere. It'll blow up. The non-uniform heating, because of, well, the short story is you're not achieving. The short story is you're getting flow separation inside of the nozzle with a vacuum optimized nozzle being tested at sea level. And that creates drag, aerodynamic drag inside of the nozzle. Aerodynamic drag means you get low pressure inside of the nozzle. Coupled with the high pressure coming out of the nozzle creates non-uniform heating. That's a nice way to make nozzle burn through. What happened to the BOLE booster? That. But with a vacuum engine. That's what happens. You remember, were you watching the BOLE test where I was like, oh, no, it exploded? Yeah, that's why you don't test with a vacuum nozzle down here. Or, I mean, not that that's what happened to that booster, but that's pretty similar effect. Burn through is bad. Crossing the streams is bad. Okay, really good. Okay, great safety tip, Egon. All right, anyway, out to the garage. Let's go. Stand by for loss of signal from the office, as expected.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Okay. Toity, 104-month resub. Thank you. I just restarted OBS to try and preemptively prevent delay, but it's probably still going to happen. Sign language now? Oh, yeah. Okay. How's that? I, Raymond Stanza, duly designated representative of the city, county, and state of New York, do hereby order you to cease and desist all paranormal and super activity and return to your closest manner of travel to your parallel dimension. Are you a god? No? Then die. You're not getting one up on me on the Ghostbusters quotes, Multiplanetary. That's not happening. Oh, that was probably even better because there was desync. Nice. The Camaro shirt is sick. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not getting a green card with that attitude, pal. You. Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this. All right. So we have desync. There is desynchronization. All right, I'll give it a restart real quick. Buenos días, Kelly. ¿Cómo estás? Clap it. S-A-D-U-R-D-A-Y. Nights. S-A-D-U-R-D-A-Y. Nights. No? All right, cool. Pretty good, not perfect. Huh. Huh. So it's pouring out here. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain on the roof. It's pretty ASMR. Here, let me walk into the office so you can hear it. Ready? Y'all ready for this? Oh, you can't really hear it in here. The AC drowns it out. Whatever. Probably hear it on the roof. It's nice and cool in there, though, which is pretty good. But that's not why we're here, not for now. All right. So, where we left off yesterday, we made a pretty substantial amount of progress, despite it not really seeming like it. We have the passenger side frame rail. Pretty much everything is tacked in place. I do have to weld it up, but I don't want to, it's just tacked in place. I don't want to weld it up until we finish the big project today. The big project is getting the driver's side frame rail pretty much finished. How we're going to do it is basically, it's going to be a little bit overkill, but, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It'll work. I think. I hope. You get more parts in, looks like some new packages at the front of the car. Those are all boxes that the parts that I already have came in, dude. I have not purchased any parts. I will inform you of any time I purchase them. I'm not purchasing any. The reason why, and don't get me wrong, I have the money. We have the money to do it. I'm not purchasing, I mean, you guys have been more than helpful with this build. I'm not purchasing any more parts because I have a pile of them here. I have a pile of new parts that we have yet to put in. I don't want to purchase any more parts because then they're just going to build up.
Yeah, box burning stream. Yeah, I'll use those in my fire pit. Yeah. Those are the boxes that a lot of car parts came in, though. Nowadays, Jim, it's so ridiculous. They take the part, they pack it, they put it in a box, and then they put that box in another box and then pack that up. It like double insulates it or something. Which, I mean, you know what? I guess I kind of appreciate, to be honest with you. Kind of appreciate that, but... Who told you to stop cutting, Flykin? Who told you to stop cutting? I got 30 miles of cable over here. I got 30 miles of phone lines. What are you talking about, buddy? The phone lines are over there. What'd I tell you? The phone lines are over there. You're not with Con Ed or the State Department. So try again. Okay. Let me flip over to the other camera and I'll show you what's going on. The sink has become undone. Sink has left the building. Dude, we really got to figure out what the hell's going on with this. This is horrible. Just horrible. All right, I'll be right back. 1 second. I need gopher chucks. Clap on, clap off the clapper. Sync will be fine and then slowly slip away. That sounds like a bandwidth issue, dude. It sounds like a bandwidth issue over NDI. That's my guess.少手松气的冰淇淋带雪冰淇淋。そのさしどガチ的大气的冰淇淋带雪冰淇淋。All right. I will be right back. 1 second. Dun, 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 dun. How about now? How about now? No. Great. You know, I wanted to come in here early and, you know, get a lot done, but now we're just going to spend the next 30 minutes troubleshooting this freaking desync problem that was not happening yesterday. You know, that's great. That's great. Lovely. Yeah. Okay, I waited to restart OBS that time. Maybe that fixed it? Maybe? It's good for now. We gotta figure out another solution, dude. This is ridiculous. How much time have we wasted spending time to freaking to fix the desync? Once again, this is stuff that I wanted to work on during vacation, but couldn't. Spend a weekend in Vegas, they said. It won't turn into a week, they said. I sent you something. Something, yeah, that's good, man. What am I going to do? Fix that right now? Like I said, this stuff, that was what my vacation was for. And I ended up going on vacation instead of fixing things. That's why I hate taking time off. I hate it. Everything gets messed up, whether you like it or not. I hate vacations. Can't stand them, dude. I'm not even kidding. Sucks. All right. Check it out. Harbor Freight Bucket. So, yesterday, we made a lot of work over here. I got the tabs done for the rail. We bent that tab back into position. And I have 2 levels. Whoa. Wait a minute. What the hell happened here? What the heck? Dude, we didn't... Oh, no. What happened? Hold on one second. Look at my bald spot for a second, okay? What the hell's that about, dude? Oh, no. Oh, crap. That wasn't like that yesterday. Is the level like out of whack or something? Oh, no. What happened? That was in line yesterday, man. That was like the last thing that I checked. Did it sag? Oh, that's bad, dude. Crap. What happened? Oh, no. What did I do wrong? Ah. Oh, okay. All right, well, we got to fix that. We got to figure out what we did wrong, because that thing doesn't magically change itself. We did something wrong. What was the last thing that I did? I think the last thing that I did was hammer that bracket into position. Dude, we are way out of whack. Like, really bad. Ugh. I just pushed up as hard as I can on the right frame rail. It looks like hammering that bracket in. Yeah, this is why. Okay. All right, it's good. I fixed it. No, I think hammering that tab in without any bottom support bent it down. So I just bent it back up. I don't like bending the frame rails like this, but yeah, that's just kind of how it's got to be. Let me make sure I'm going to double check all of our measurements now, because now I'm paranoid. We spent a crazy amount of time getting this right yesterday. I just really hope I didn't screw it up, dude. So, yeah. Okay. Let me back it up. So, fellas, I think when I hammered this in, I bent the entire frame rail down, because what I just did was pushed up on that as hard as I could, and we got it back level. So I think a big lesson, right? A big lesson, if we do this again, is putting jack stands underneath the rails so they don't do that, so you can hammer them around and stuff. That sucks. So when we go to hammer these tabs, when we go to hammer them to the flange, like, because they're just tacked right now, we have to bend them over this bracket. That's how the factory did it. They hammered it down. When we do that, I'm going to put a jack underneath the rail, because now I'm paranoid. I can't believe just a couple of small hits with a hammer and dolly put it so far out of whack. But we're true again, which is good. Oh man, that scared me. Check the car for wasps. That's not funny. Man. Stop it. I've never died from wasps in that stupid game. Until yesterday. I've been playing that game for a decade. It's so ridiculous. All right, well, everything is... Everything is pretty true again. We're in the bubble, or we're in the lines on all three of these. It's basically back to where it was yesterday. Oh, that sucks, man. I'm bumming about that, but hey, what are you gonna do? So that's what this side looks like. I am gonna wait on, this is all just tacked. The tabs are tacked and the frame rail ears are tacked in position as well. I'm gonna wait on really welding all this stuff up, right? Until we fix that. Now, I don't know, a couple of more detail-oriented people here might realize that we are, you know, I mean, this is supposed to be a mirror image of that, and we are kind of missing a part. You know, that's what it's supposed to look like. See the diagonal? This piece is supposed to be there, and it's, yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's not there. That's the piece that we need to make today. So let's get to it, dudes. So what I think I'm going to do is use some CAD here to figure out this plate, to figure out how big this piece needs to be. We need to use some CAD. No, not computer-aided design, cardboard-aided design. What I want to do is this. I want to put a piece, I'm going to make a metal piece that fits in there, just like that, basically that, right? And then what I want to do is 2 flat plates through here that bend out, basically a big L piece here and a backwards L piece there that go through so we can seam this, and then they go to the frame rail tabs. So it's kind of basically what I did over here. If you look, I put this piece of frame rail on and I backplated it, and then I made the tabs for the frame rail ears right here. Let me get you a light, a little bit easier to see it. See, I have a piece of metal that's basically an L piece that goes here. There's a little bit of a gap in between the plates because I did this first and then I did that second. On the other side, what I'm going to do is just make a long piece of metal and then bend the tabs and then have it backplate my entire frame rail. That'll make this thing way stronger. It'll make it way more rigid. This back area needs to stay rigid to keep the suspension straight. So I don't mind building more rigidity into this. And I think that's how we're going to do it. I'm going to make a plate that basically looks like where my pointer and my thumb are, like this, and then we'll make another one that looks like that. And then we'll have our frame rail piece. We'll bend the frame rail flanges over, right? And then we'll put the L pieces in here, and then we'll kind of fit them together like puzzle pieces. So the first thing we got to do is make this. We got to make this piece, and then after we make this piece, I'm going to make another piece that basically looks like this, like that. And then another one over here. Yeah, we're basically going to make this piece twice. One of them is going to go this way, and one of them is going to go that way. Easy peasy. Now, our frame rail ears, which are the pieces that go this way, this one needs to be 1 inch, and that one needs to be 2 inches. It needs to go out a little bit more so it can pick up on the bumper bracket, right there. So the ear that's going to come through here and go this way needs to go out basically to the edge of this circle, like that. See, I painted it blue to know where I need to drill the hole, because the bumper has 4 bolts. The bumper brackets have 4 bolts. 2 of them go here, 2 of them go here. And then the mount goes right here, and the rear bumper would be in this area. So we gotta do all that. Shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. I already have, this is the bracket, this is the cardboard, this is the piece that I used. This is the template that I used to make this piece originally. And I cut both the frame rails pretty much at the same length. So this shouldn't be too hard to make. Cool. The other thing is I'm gonna get the fan out because it is getting hot in here, or at least I'm just sweating my balls off. I'm sweating my balls off. It's nice and cool in the office, so when we go to play Kerbal later, we won't have to worry about overheating. But this garage traps heat like a melon farmer. I'm telling you, once we get a heat pump in here, it's going to be ridiculous, and we don't have to worry about losing thermal efficiency or anything. There we go. Okay, let's get to it, dudes. So, which piece do we want to make first? The CAD? You want to make the CAD piece, or we want to make the L pieces? Or we could just make all of them. Let's make this one first, I think. Now, what I really need to do is get better at thinking about how I'm going to bend this piece correctly. So, it's easy to cut out a piece of steel that's like this, right? How are we going to put it through the metal brake? So, at face value, the first bend would probably be that, right? Okay, keep in mind, I can only bend up 90 degrees. That's the only way we can do this. So, if we're going to do that, how do we bend the next piece? We'd bend the next piece, if we want to bend the other channel, right? We can't bend it up like that. That's not going to work because the sandwich will get in the way. I could just clamp the damn metal down, and we could use a smaller sandwich. Something that'll bend around the channel. Hold on. I didn't think of this yesterday. Could we use this? Oh. Clamp that to the brake. So if we, hold on one second. If we bend this piece first, right? What's my ideal? My ideal would be to bend this piece the exact same way. I've tried bending them, like if we bend this piece up, I've tried bending it like this, but I find that, actually that should be right. I might be overthinking it. Sandwich this, bend that piece up, move the sandwich this way, bend the piece that way, right? Now, what about our frame rail flanges? How would we do that? We'd have to put this thing in the brake like this, sandwich right here, and then go up. We could bend that piece first, right? And then bend the flange second, like this. And then those pieces would be down, right? And then bend this, right? And then bend that. That'll work. Okay, that'll do it. The ends first, Shari. Yeah, that's right. Flanges first. So we'll put the piece face down, right? We bend this up, bend the flange up, turn it around, bend it up. Flip the piece over, put it back in the brake, flip that up like this, move it forward, and flip that up like that. That should get me the same bend. And if you look, guys, I left there's 1/8 of an inch area here to take into account the curvature of the bend. 1/8 of an inch is right for the metal brake that we're using with 16 gauge steel. We need to allot 1/8 of an inch. What I need to do, and this is the mistake I made with the first bent piece yesterday, and why I had to put it in the vise and persuade it. What we need to do is sandwich on the lower line. So see how I have 2 lines right there and then a shaded area? If we wanted to bend this piece, right, we would have to put the sandwich on the lower line on your screen. That's how we have to do that. And that'll get me a good bend. Now when we do this one, we have to do the same thing, right? When we do this piece right here, we'd have to put it on the lower line. See what I'm saying? That'll get us a clean bend every time.
Discovery,
What I did
go at throttle up.
for the first time was line up the upper line with the bend, and then what happened is when I went to bend it, the sandwich moved this way and it put curvature into the bend, more curvature than I wanted. Okay. All right, I have that right in my head. Remember, if we want to allocate that amount of area there, right? Now, that's for those ones. Now, what do we do for these? We'd bend, yeah, once again, bend on the lower line. And then when we flip it over to do the other one, bend on the lower line. That'll get me, I got to get that right in my head because I keep getting it wrong. It's one of those things that just doesn't stick in your freaking brain. Or my brain, for instance. Like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Well, don't answer that. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go over here and we're going to measure the template against the steel that I'm already using. So I do have some cut marks from making the brackets yesterday, but I should be able to, that should give us enough. I don't like that edge is not straight. I'm just going to get another piece of steel. We'll use this for later. I'll use this for making the tab pieces and stuff. I have extra 16 gauge steel. I wanted to source American steel for this car, so I had to drive all the way up to Tractor Supply to get this. There's a Tractor Supply a good ways north of me, so I had to drive all the way up there to get steel that was made in Ohio because I wanted American steel on my American car. I don't know. Do with that information what you see fit. Hillman Group steel is made here, so that's pretty cool. I like that. Why are you streaming so early? I'm tired. I don't want to rest. I worded that like you purposely woke me up and I'm not literally watching the stream on my own free will. Yeah. Block, I always tell people, like I know you're kidding and I know in your case this isn't what's going on, but I always tell people, dude, I'll probably be here when you get back. Just, if you got stuff to do, don't let me be your distraction. I don't like being people's distraction from like getting work done. I like being people's distraction from work. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to be the reason you're not productive, but I also understand that if you want to get away from work for a little while, that I'm, you know, I want you to be productive at work, but I don't want you to miss, you know, like, I don't want you to miss work, like, either, you know what I mean? Getting work done is very fulfilling, dude. And I like working. I don't know about you guys. I like working. I have always liked working. It really doesn't matter the job. And that really is interesting. I know people are going to be like, yeah, AJ, that's crap. That's really interesting. For me, at least, and I'm speaking personally here, that not everybody needs to adhere by this rule, right? I like working, and I didn't realize that I liked working and like putting effort into a job and getting the job done correctly, no matter how long it takes. When I was younger, I was very impressionable. I mean, who isn't, right? And I would see everybody else whining about their job. This work sucks. Yeah, I know. But, you know, I was like, I know it sucks, but I don't really necessarily mind it. It doesn't really bother me, right? Like, but because I was very self-conscious when I was a lot younger. I ain't self-conscious anymore. I don't care. I don't care, right? Because I was a lot more self-conscious, I let other people influence me, and that made me a crappier worker, and I suffered for that. Think about that for a second. I was like, I don't mind working, but I see everybody else hates it, so maybe I should hate it too? I don't know. Sounds like a really teenager-esque thought, yeah? Because it is. Again? Oh, man. All right. Give me 1 second. We'll be right back. I have chosen the Okay, how about now? How about now? Vin with a 12-month resub, and then Harambo had a 14-monther before that. Thank you. But yeah, it took me a while to kind of realize, like, dude, just do the work. Just do the work. It's good, okay? All right, attention students, we're going to learn today, we're going to learn about the diversity of Asian people, okay? An anonymous gifter gifted a sub to Bobby Lover. Sorry, my English ain't so good. So, yeah, I don't know. Blog, I know that that's not what you were talking about. Sorry, I just thought it pertinent to say. Maybe if somebody hears that, like, it's okay being happy with working. But we have this, there's this weird cultural phenomenon that I frankly don't know about. Like, that's socio things, that's like weird sociology that I'm not really privy to. Like, I don't understand that stuff, right? But I noticed there's this weird thing like, oh, I hate my job. I hate my job. I hate my job. Why? Why do you hate your job? It puts money on the table. Like, don't get me wrong. If you're working a dead-end job and you're putting crazy amounts of effort in, probably go find another one, right? Like, I get it. And everybody's different, and I understand that. But I don't necessarily mind working. Like, it doesn't bother me. In fact, I like working long hours, like what we're doing today. I like that. I like testing myself. I like pushing myself further. You know, it's just a weird thing. It is a weird thing that, you know, when I was younger, I just didn't mind doing the work, and then everybody gave me crap for working hard, and then I was like, oh man, I must be doing something wrong. Just, I don't know. I thought I'd share that. Bobby Louvet, it's French. Yeah. You're gonna say, how about now, and not rip a sleeve off? Not with this shirt. This shirt's brand new, man. I don't like most mechanics, that's why I do my own. Shari, I didn't buy a house with a freaking auto shop in the backyard because I like taking my car to the mechanic, man. You know what I'm saying? Self-employment has kept you sane. Yeah, that's another important thing, Rotex. Like, you know, if you're like 18, 19 and you're working like landscaping, or you're working at McDonald's or something, you're working to pay for school, you put in effort there, but that ain't your forever job. You know what I mean? I mean, no job is your forever job, right? But say you're making money, you put yourself through school, and then you put yourself through school, and then you get a job with the degree that you wanted, right? That's where you put in effort. You turn 27, 28, 29, you're still working at McDonald's, right? Like, you know that's not your end. I mean, unless you want it to be your end job, McDonald's can actually take you pretty far. Managers at McDonald's make some pretty good money, from what I understand. At least the one near me does. I've asked just to see, just out of curiosity, right? Like, you know. But yeah, it's important to understand, like, you got to figure out where you want to put in the effort. Putting effort into a dead-end job is not going to get you anywhere. Unless you want that to be your work, you know what I mean? Like, I worked a lot in restaurants growing up. I worked I worked in pizza places, I worked in regular restaurants, I worked serving tables, I've busted tables, I've done prep, I've been a line order cook, I've delivered pizzas, I've done I've done all that. Like, I could work in a restaurant, no problem, but that's not what I wanted to do. Like, I can do it, it's no problem. Ain't no thing, you know? But yeah, just keep that in mind, dudes. Put an effort where you want to put an effort. And usually the fruits of that labor will bear fruit in time. Sometimes it takes longer, like streaming. It took me 3 years to get the stream profitable. And that's mostly because I didn't know what I'm doing. And you could make the argument that I still don't know what I'm doing, but hey, whatever. Anyway, yeah, sorry, Block. That's something that I wanted to tell you guys that I was thinking about the other day. Bear fruit? No, bear arms. You have the right to cut the arms off of a bear and use them. I think that's what that means, right? That's what the Founding Fathers meant. Surely, how could that possibly be misconstrued? All right. So I got to copy this bracket onto this metal. Where is my pencil? I got my pencil! Give me something to write on, man. I don't know, man. People might disagree with me about that, and that's fair. Go ahead. Everybody's different. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with my template is I'm going to mark the cut areas, right? Just up here at the top. There we go. The reason why I wanted to mark the cut areas is because I want to indicate them. Ow! I want to indicate them on the metal. So I want to basically make the same markings that are on my paper tab. Here. Nope, that's not exactly aligned. You know what? This square is broken. Let me get my let me get another square. I should have my block over here. Where the heck did that go? Should have my block over here. Should be over here, but yeah, yeah, it's not. Don't get too attached there, Aladdin. It's about to become magic flying dinner. You can't eat carpet, silly daddy. Now you gotta boil it till the glue gets soft. Oh, geez, look at the time. Put on your work boots and your respirator. I go through a lot of trouble to get him to hire an 8-year-old. Don't mind me, coffee hasn't set in yet. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to start marking these things so I know, so I don't bend the wrong thing. This is inside frame rail wall. Inside frame rail bottom. Because one of the mistakes that I made with one of my brackets when we went to prototype these before was I bent it backwards. I bent it the wrong way. I don't know why I'm drawing the R first. Frame rail wall. This is flange. And this one is flange. Okay. So I'm also going to mark for these bends. I'm going to mark this side up for these. The thing needs to be this side up for those bends and this side down for those bends. This side down, TSD. This side up. Okay. So we need this side down for those bends. So maybe after we cut this piece out, we should mark these bends on the other side. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. All right, here's how we'll do that. Nope, we're not square enough to do that. Crap. How are we going to mark them on the other side? All right, hold up. So if I take this piece and I flip it over, right? Clamp it back to the table, and then we take this and we put it down here. I noticed something. I noticed with this CAD template that the flanges are, one flange is longer than the other. That indicates a left-right. So this would have to be the inside frame rail then, which means this bracket is backwards. If we just make the same thing, this will end up being on the inside and it shouldn't be on the inside. That should be on the outside. Which means everything should be reversed. Okay. Dude, getting this right without having a 3D space in front of you like a computer is really, really tough. The square hole, that's right. Okay, Methane, sorry, I'm a little bit late to answer this. Should I get a torque converter with a bigger stall or a stock stall? My engine is stock, but I'd like to throw a cam in it down the road. Stock stall. I know the converter depends on the cam. How spicy of a cam do you want to put in there is really what matters. Like, dude, if you're not going racing, maybe like a slightly better stall. Like slightly bigger than stock, but I mean, if you're not going racing, a high stall is kind of useless. Like it's not going to do you any good. Wait a minute. If I bend this stupid thing up, right, and we do that, I can just flip it around. So yeah, no, this is fine. We just got to make sure we bend it right. And in that regard, what I need is these marks on the bottom. Mark. Yeah. We only need the flange marks on the bottom. Okay. So what I did was I measured the paper bracket against it, see? And now I have a mark right there and a mark right there. So what I'm going to do now is take this piece, clamp it back to the table, clamp it over here. Let me measure it again just to be sure. Yeah, we're just a smidge off. So what I'll do instead is take this and just make sure we're square to the edge. Square hole. All right. Now I'm going to use the square hole to indicate bend marks here. The reason why I'm doing the bend I'm marking it on this side is so when I put this thing in, there's no margin for error. We only need to mark where the frame rail ends get bent. That's it. It's just basically that line and that line. And now we're good. Cool. I don't need to mark anything else. It's just where to bend because I already have the marks on the other side. And when we cut this, we won't have to worry about it. So let's get this over here. Put this in a position where we can get at it with the cutting wheel. Clamp it again. There we go. And now we have to cut this thing. All right, let me get my hearing protection and my face mask out. Anyone else able to rotate an apple in their head? Dude, rotate an apple in my head, let me think. Yes, I can do that. I have a pretty visual memory, Coltec. Like, I can recall things pretty good, and I've seen those threads on the internet where people are like, well, people have no internal monologue. Dude, if I close my eyes and imagine Teddy Roosevelt riding a giraffe through the desert, I can see that in my head. Yeah, absolutely. Like I picture Robin Williams from like Night at the Museum, but a giraffe in the desert. Like I'm pretty good with that, but I've been doing the computer for so long that I have trouble doing it in like with this. Like I have to really get that right in my head, but I can picture, I know what part, like I could picture the part in my head. I know what I need to do. Like I can see that frame rail piece in my head that we need to make. I can visualize it, I see it. It's just getting all the measuring right and then figuring out the order of operations for bending, which is not something you do on the computer really. On the computer, it's just edge extrusion, edge extrusion, edge extrusion, edge extrusion, edge extrusion, done. You don't have to think about bending in a particular order, and that's where my brain's like, huh? Not too spicy. I was thinking in 2000-ish stall. That'll be fine, methane, yeah. 2000 stall with a mild cam would be good. You could probably get away with the stock converter too, though. It's the steps to get there, Shari, because the steps don't matter on the computer too much. It does depend on what you're modeling, though. I will say that. There are steps to doing a 3D model, like you got to model in UV as you go, right? Like if you model the whole thing and then try to back UV the whole thing, you're going to have a bad day. So like, yeah, I don't know. I can picture that part. I know what I need to make. I know I need to make the 2 L's. I can see the part in my head. It's just getting to that is where I'm lacking, and that's why I'm practicing. That's why we're doing it. Okay, let's get the cutoff wheel. All right. Last time I had problems running into getting these edges square whole. I'm trying to see if we can put the square in and have some kind of guide, but I don't think so. All right, I'll do what I was doing. We'll scribe it. So I'm going to move you guys over here because I'm right-handed and I cut that way. So what I'm going to do is very carefully put a scribe mark in here. I mean, hold on. All right, guys, this thing is loud. It's very loud when it's cutting, so headphone users, be careful. That line gets harder to see once you get further in because it shoots sparks everywhere. It's not exactly straight, but we can shore it up. I gotta figure out a way to cut this straight. A bandsaw would probably be a good idea. I'm stuck on the clamp. Crap. I'm gonna have to take that clamp off. But see how I did the scribe marks? I find that if you go slow and just follow the line and just scribe it and not try to cut it, it comes out very straight. So now, let's do it. Let's cut it. Another important thing, dudes, is that when you're using this wheel, don't push. Don't push. You want to rotate the wheel in more, just rotate. Or you want to dig the wheel in more, just rotate this and it'll dig down. It'll do it for you. Don't push this thing into the metal. That's how you break a wheel, and then if you break the wheel, it's like a shrapnel grenade going off in your face. Speaking of that, this wheel is almost done. You don't want to go too far in. You go too far in, the wheel delaminates, and it'll blow up in your face. So I'm going to do this cut, and then that wheel is toast. We're done. See? All good. Alles ist gut. I can't pick that up off the ground because it's really hot. But I'm still going to try. There we go. So now, we have transferred this onto metal, and that is pretty straight, dude. Pretty straight lines. That's what I mean. Scribing the line in makes it really easy to cut straight lines. If you try to just belt the cut out real quick, it's not going to work. The wheel rides all over the place. Where did you get your table for cutting on? This looks nice. This is a Harbor Freight welding table, dude. Yeah, that's what it is. Harbor Freight welder. A Harbor Freight welding table. It's good, man. It's really good. So now, the thing about the wheel, as opposed to a bandsaw, is it leaves these crazy burrs. See how it's all shiny right there? That is just extra metal left over from the cutting process. Now, I like getting rid of them because putting your hand on that is a nice way to get cut. So what I'm going to do, we got to deburr it. So we're going to go on the Vivitar, get Vivitard, nerd. And I'm going to take this over to my bench grinder over there, and we're going to get rid of those. Sorry, I don't really have a good, I got to get another camera over here, which, once again, that's what I really wanted to do during vacation, but I actually went on vacation instead, which Kind of a dumb move on my part, but hey. It was my buddy's wedding. I had to go. Oop. Ah, caught a little bit. I deburred a little too much there. That's good enough. Yeah, I moved it a little too fast and it got caught in the grinder. So there's a little bit of a part that's, if you could see, like right there, it's a little crooked now, but that's okay. It's all right. Well, we can make up for that with the welder. Glasses? Oh, there's a shield on the thing. You can't see it with the damn Vivitar. There's a plastic shield. There's a clear plastic shield. It's hard to see because that camera sucks. But yeah, don't worry. We can make the hole bigger with the welder. That's the spirit. Wait. All right, so I have my piece. We have our flange bend marks on this side, and then we have our frame rail channel bend marks on this side. Yeah, see, you can really see on this camera where I screwed up a little bit, but it's okay. That's fine. It's just it's like maybe in a millimeter or something. That's no problem. Yeah, we can always file it down. The welding table was like 40 bucks or something, dude. That thing, super useful. And it's really nice to weld on. Yeah. Because all you got to do is just put a metal piece on it, and then you can take the grounding strap and just attach it to the side. Easy peasy. Okay. Now I'm going to move this camera into metal brake position, quote unquote. Dude, what I would like to do eventually, and once again, this is what I wanted to look into during vacation, was putting an HDMI cable, two HDMI cables that go up over the roof, like that go in the roof, come down over here, and have two cameras that are like downward facing on each workbench. That's what I wanted to do, but that's what I was going to do over vacation. It didn't friggin' work, but you get the idea. I know it sounds like I have to explain to people how ridiculous it sounds when I say like, oh man, I went on vacation and I spent a week in Vegas. I'm so pissed. And that goes back to the whole liking work thing, you know. Okay, that camera is hooked up. I think there's a cable that is stuck on this thing. Make installing cables a streaming video? Yeah, maybe. Ian, it was really just something I wanted to get done. You know, like you can make any type of stream upgrade work into a stream in itself, right? But like something that I find as I do this, like I've been doing this for a long time, is whatever work you do on stream usually takes a little bit longer because you got to talk to chat. And I have I said got to like it's some kind of obligation. No, I like talking to you guys. That's why I do this. This I have to get done. This is on a deadline. I need this done by summertime, by the end of the summer. Not summertime, we missed that one. I need this done by the end of the summer because I have another classic car, a classic truck that's outside under cover, right? But I want to get that truck back in here for the wintertime because I don't like leaving that truck outside because it's fully restored. Not that it really matters, but sync is off again, Mihai? Ah, crap. All right, I don't understand why this is doing this so much today. I'll be right back. Yes, and Tessie, if I don't, I mean, I do believe in doing PPE, like hearing protection. Angle grinders will make you deaf if you don't wear hearing protection with it. But yeah, I mean, with the bench grinder, as long as the little plate's in front of me, it's fine. Like, you have to be stupid to screw up a bench grinder, like, or inexperienced. Like, yeah, I like having that stuff on because I don't, yeah, like hearing protection stuff. Like, but yeah, I understand old guy OSHA and stuff. Like, I get it. But anyway, I'll be right back. Hopefully there's no bees around. You know what? At least, like I said, man, at least people aren't making house burn down jokes. I'll take that. But yeah, even then, like if we're messing around with a grinder, I am deathly afraid of discs delaminating, like cutting wheel discs delaminating near me. I'll always wear PPE when we're using the angle grinder. Like, at least for a long cut. I had a wheel delaminate on me because I pushed too hard one time, a long time ago, and I had a piece of it get stuck in my knee. Like, I was like, what the hell just happened? And then I was like, why does my knee hurt? And I shorts because it was in the summertime and I was working on the 59 in my parents' garage. This is before I started streaming. This was like 2008 or something. And I dug too deep, wheel delaminated and got stuck right in my knee, right there. And I was like, oh, that's not good. And I pulled it out and it was about that big. So I'm like, I'm not screwing around with that kind of stuff. But that was operator error. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I just told you guys when I was cutting, don't push that damn wheel in. It will come apart. Just let it cut, let it do its thing. Let the tool do the work, right? So MSC today for after hours, yep. Common sense safety is what you like. Yeah, like when you're using a cutoff wheel, don't wear shorts. You know, if I'm in the shop and there's heavy things, common sense, wear steel toes. Because if something falls on your foot in here, like if this falls on my foot and I don't have a steel toe, say goodbye to your toes, right? Like I'm kind of with you on that one. I use PPE where it really makes sense. Like if I'm doing a lot of painting, I'll put the respirator on. If I'm just flash painting something that takes like maybe 5 seconds, I won't put the respirator on. But if we're doing a lot, oh yeah, put the respirator on. You don't want to breathe that stuff. It's terrible for you. Like, yeah, you know, most of these tools are pretty convergent, have pretty convergent design. So if you break something, it's most likely your fault. But, you know, that doesn't mean you shouldn't wear safety equipment, you know? But yeah, I'm with you on that one, brother. I think we're on the same page. Here, let's get this thing bent up. Dojo, what's up, man? All right, there's the metal brake. Yeah, that's the other thing, dude. I'm trying to set an example. De facto streaming stuff, like working on a car, do it by the book. Twitch is watching, people are watching, kids are watching. Understand, like, right, got to understand, wear this. I mean, I have an anecdotal story where a pretty damn good reason why I wear PPE and why I wear like heavy duty jeans and stuff, right? But if you're on here, don't screw around with that stuff. Like, you don't want some kid going and doing something stupid, you know, using a cutoff wheel without a mask because you did it, and then it's your ass, right? That's why I kind of, common sense is where it's at, but I'll always try to show people what PPE you should be using, because that's just the right move. Like, you want, like, Sintesi, right? Like, you want people, you want kids, if they want to get into doing this kind of stuff, you want them to learn the right way. Learn to do it the right way. And then, if you learn to do it the right way, you can do whatever the hell you want, as long as you're not doing it near me. You know what I mean? Is it desynced again, dude? No way. No way. I just reset this thing. Oh my God. It's desyncing like every 30 seconds, dude. What the frick is wrong with this? Unreal. I'm sorry, guys. This is unacceptable. A software engineered seamless pipe wheel. 95% of our accidents are people that have been here for years. Don't be complacent. Yep. Don't screw around with PPE. Like, seriously, this isn't like, oh, you need hearing protection. Dude, wear hearing protection when you're cutting something with that wheel. You will get tinnitus. That's not even a judgment call. It'll absolutely happen, and it hurts. All right. I'll be right back. How is it now? It's bad today, dudes. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah. Like I said, dudes, this was one of the problems that I wanted to fix. Over my vacation, my big goals were getting some work done on this, fixing the heating in the garage, or cooling in the garage, and fixing the desync problem. I got to working on the cars. I got a third of those things done, but whatever. All right, I've been trying to bend this part for a little bit here. Let's do it. That's desync, Chuck, not B-sync. Jesus. All right, so we know we have our line here. Line up the sandwich on this way. You got to line up against the way that you're cutting. So let's go here like this, and I'm going to put the sandwich put it on the cut line, line up the bend point with the lower line, and put the sandwich on the lower line. Now I need my clamps. Man, that one's really on there. Okay. We're lined up, so let me push down on this, and let's try to do it. Okay. Yeah, see? Look at that. That's pretty damn straight, huh? Real good. All right, let's do the other side. Okay, lining up the lower line with the bend here, and then lining up the sandwich on this, right? 1, 2. Okay, let me just double check. Lower line's on the cut line. Now that's what I'm talking about, dude. Look at that. Perfect. Excellent. Real good. All right, so now this side up for these cuts here for the rail itself. So this piece goes in here like this. All right, let me just double check myself. Bend that sucker up. Oh, somebody tagged me. What's up, dude? Did you make that sheet metal bender? No, it's a Harbor Freight special. $80. 16 gauge steel is what this is. All right, here we go. I need to move this clamp just a little bit down so I can put my hand on this. Okay, how'd that bend come out? Oh, perfect, dude. Look at that. Perfectly straight. Okay, last bit. Can we do that way? No. I know I said we could do this way, but I don't know. Are these coming in symmetrically? Yeah, they're a little bit beveled on one side over the other, which means I would really want to bend this kind of this way, but the problem is if we bent it like that, right, the sandwich is too big. I'd need something smaller for that channel. Yeah, you know what? These are symmetrical enough that I don't think you're gonna be able to see the difference. I just want to make sure that the bends are perfectly symmetrical, and I find that sometimes you do get slight asymmetry, but we can always hammer it into place and get it done right, and it's not a big deal. But yeah, this brake I got from Harbor Freight. It was $80. There was a smaller 20-inch brake that would have been way easier to use, like it was way smaller than this, but I got this big one because it's all they had at the time. We also got to make sure that when we bend up, we don't hit the clamp. So I got to move my clamping position like back here and then push on this. Ready? Okay, ready for the last bit? Here we go. Let's make a frame rail, baby. Frick. That's what I was worried about. Asymmetric bend. Damn! Look. Okay, looks like I was right in worrying about that. Well, that sucks. Well, the bends, good news is that these bends are really good. Bad news is we're asymmetric. See how this side is higher? That's because there's more curvature on the second bend. So because there's more curvature, it didn't raise it up to the proper height. It's Planet's fault. That metal brake bender works surprisingly well for its simple design. That's more asymmetric than the shuttle. Yeah. See how one side's a little higher than the other? It's because those bends have different radius. Because one of them I bent this way and the other one I bent that way. We didn't bend both of these pieces up in the same exact way, which sucks. Need more clamping. I don't know where else I can clamp it, dude. That's kind of the problem. Like the frame rail bends are, the flange bends are perfect. That bend is perfect. It's just this one. Can you use the 2x4 and an anvil to sharpen that bend? Yeah. Now, actually, you know what? I'm curious. I want to put this in the car, in the spot where it's supposed to be, and I want to see which one of these lines up better, just out of curiosity here. Which one lines up better? Which one is closer to the factory stamping? So let's go over here like this. You guys are coming with me this way, and you guys are going down like that. This one. The first bend is closer. That closely looks more closelier to line up. This piece wasn't cut straight, so it's kind of overlapping a little bit. Let me just flip it, just see if we can get it to fit. Nope, can't get it to fit. Ain't gonna fit. Wait a minute. Looks like the second bend is closer anyway. The taller one is right, from what I can tell here. Taller side is correct. I'll be damned. Huh. So that side is more in line. Are we the right width? Yeah, pretty much. Interesting. Because if it's just adjusting this flange and putting the bend up a little bit higher, well, shoot, I can do that. That's no problem. That's an easy fix. We just really need to make sure our channels are correct. Like, we got to make sure that it's the right width and whatnot. Now, I know that the tabs, if you see that it's a little wider. It does that from the factory. This tab goes out a little bit, but I also left a lot of material here on purpose. Actually, you know what would be a better thing to compare this to? The original frame rail. Let's see. Even though it's a little bit rusty. Yeah. Fellas, see that gap right there? These are both flat on the table. There's overlap here, but there ain't no overlap over here. So the taller side is right. This bend is better than that bend, but it looks like this part, that's definitely good enough. Yeah. Huh. Well, shoot, we can fix that. That's no problem. right? I mean, I know this is a rusty piece of crap. This is why we're replacing it, but I cut to good metal, so the back of this is right, is the right shape. And if we put this on here and match the bottom to bottom, right, like this, look, see the left side versus the right? Look at the right side. The right side's all screwed up. Okay. This one has to be a little bit higher. It looks like, at first I thought it was the bends, but it looks like the bend that I did here wasn't exactly right. I don't know. Maybe the thing slipped. But what we're going to have to do is straighten this out, heat it, straighten it out, and then get it coplanar with the other frame rail flange. Like here, look. If I put this thing flat on here, see that 1/8 of an inch right there? Where the ruler is? That's no good. So, okay, it looks like one of the frame rail flange bends was bad. Not doing the reverse bend, so like bending the first one this way and then bending the second one that way. That's not a big deal. That's lining up perfectly. It's well within a welder being able to get to it. Actually, hang on. Let me... maybe it is the bend. See how there's overlap right there? So what I have is the wall on this side is perfectly aligned, right? And the bottom is perfectly aligned. Yeah, it's that bend. I'm pretty sure. I kind of flip-flopped there for a second, but comparing it to the original piece that we're trying to replace really is kind of telling. So that means this bend is junk. All right, what are we going to do? Hammer the outside of this bend, it'll bring it up. If we hammer that, yeah, if we hammer this kind of flush, we should be good. Hammering this thing flat will extend this way. We don't need to do it too much. I'm just trying to figure out what tool are we gonna use to do that, Shari. The brake takes length. Which side does it take length from, Home Planet? The side that moves, the side that you bend up. I bent the first frame rail with this being the pivoting side, and the second wall we bent with this part being the pivoting side. What I should have done, and I actually said this, what I should have done is figured out a way to flip it and make it go the other way. Yeah, I could put this in the vise, and then clamp this like that and then hammer it. That's probably what I'll do. Okay, I don't have a vise cam. Once again, something that I wanted to change. I don't have a camera that can go all the way over here. So I'm going down here to the vise and I'm doing exactly what I just showed you. All right, now I need a clamp to hold that thing in place. Give me 1 sec. Once again, I'm sorry guys that you can't see this stupid thing. Can you see me? Just barely. Okay. Just moving some stuff around. I don't know if I could give you guys a good shot of this. I'll try to see if we can get this camera to work. Yeah, this camera can get closer, but not much. That's the best we're going to do. Actually, we might be able to go a little further. Yeah, there we go. So you see how I have that? I have the steel bar here, and what we're going to do is just we got to hammer this a bunch of times. Try to fix that bend. Let me get the torch, and yeah, the torch and my hammer and dolly, and we'll fix it right now. Can you guys see that okay? There's the bumper. We can see the rear bumper. Cold hammer it, Shari? Oh, all right. Why cold hammering? Why cold over hot? Rookie question. I'm actually asking. Breaking the coating. That makes sense. Good enough for me. Okay, so I have a metal hammer. This is a metal, this is a body hammer. This is used for doing metal work. So we just gotta, yeah, this might get loud. And it's gonna be a lot of tapping here, so. What I'm doing is I'm using the bar, right? I'm using the bar to get the right shape. Just got to try to keep this level. I'm using it to tighten up the bend. And if you notice, this is bending up. We're almost there. Hang on, I got to readjust it in the vise. It's still a little off. need something flat. We're definitely getting closer, dudes. Yeah, it was 1/8 of an inch. Now it's a 1/16. Just a little bit more persuading with this thing and we should be good. I might want to tighten up this bend too. Feel like we're chasing like a float point error in Kerbal. It's the same damn thing. Just got to be slow and methodological. Feel like that's about as close as we're going to get with doing this. We definitely tightened that up. See? We definitely tightened it up. And we're definitely closer, but this is still a little smaller. I might tighten up this edge now. That's probably what we should do. So, if we were going to do that, how would we do it? We want to put some length in, so we got to... Yeah. Oh, that's going to be really difficult to get that right. Because I would have to hammer like right here, but you can't because there's a frame rail in the way. All right, I got to think about this for a second. It looks good enough. It's definitely getting there. It's better than it was. But I'm worried that me hammering this kind of took the whole bottom of this channel and bent it up a little ways. So let me just fiddle with this for a second. Like, see, if you look very closely, see how this goes up, it flares up. It's not really what I wanted. I could try to sandwich that in the vise because, yeah, see, this is not straight. See that? It's not straight. If we could just bend, if I could just bend this channel nice and straight, that'd give us what we need. That last little bit. Little bits. Little bits. Maybe if I put it in the vise this way and clamp it, it'll bend. We'll bend it right back. All right, let's go back to vice cam. see, I can massage this into position. Just don't want to bend the metal too much, dudes, you know? Bend it too much, it's gonna get mad at you. Okay. Now I'm just going to tighten up the edge on the frame rail flange, and we'll go from there. All right, with this one I can't really fit it in there with the clamp, so we're going to need to use the vise to an extent. That's not going to tighten up that edge that way. That's going to make the frame rail, that's going to make the flange shorter. That's not going to work. See, if we clamp the thing like this with the flange in the vise, right, we can hammer out that extra length, right? But the thing is, we're hammering it in a weird, this is a weird way to do this because I have to kind of, let's see if we can. Focus. Almost there. Almost there. Almost got it. Almost there. Almost there. We're not pushing against any dolly this way, but guys, I think we're in the ballpark. Oh, no, that's crooked. Hold on. The frame, the channels aren't parallel. The two sides, you know. Got a 2x4. Look, 2x4. You go, girl. A bulletproof cup, huh? I invented this gag, rabbit. Except in my day, the rookie got naked. And we also used blanks. We're close. Remember when I said to deburr these things after you cut them? This is why, because you're going to be putting your hands all over this damn thing, and if there's burrs on it, you're going to cut your hands up. It's close. That's super close. Quit hitting both sides. Yeah, I know. I realized I was doing that wrong for a second. I'm just trying to get them both straight, dude. That's just a rookie mistake, 16. If I could just get this edge is kind of bent. If I could just get it flat perfectly, I see how it curves out. If I can get that flat, then I think we're going to be fine. Funny thing is, you're sweating over this car far more than the guys who built it, for sure. Guys, like I said, I'm doing this to learn. If you see me doing something dumb, just say. Like, I'm not the best at this. This is my first time ever getting this far into a car. 2x4 and a hammer. I was just using that. Let me go grab it. I have another one right here. There we go. Like, any tips are appreciated, man. I'm not tips like tipping the stream. Tips like, I don't know what I'm doing, please help. You know? So what do you think? We clamp this in the vise like this and then start hitting it with a hammer on the side that's shorter to get it to straighten out. You're using a panel hammer, use a bigger hammer. Make sure to stay hydrated. Yep. I'm still sweating, so we know the hydration level is okay. How about this one? Use a mini sledge. Come and hand me that wrench, Jimbo. Now the bigger one, sledge. I didn't switch the camera. Give me 1 second. hit the taller side to bring it down. My problem is the taller side is the length that I need. We got to bring the shorter side up, not the taller side down. Yeah, sorry if I didn't say that. You know what? I think I'm going to switch the direction of the 2x4. Here, let's take this and put that sucker in there like that. Sandwich the bottom of this. And let's get the side that we're trying to work on facing towards us, huh? That probably was a good idea. Should probably do that. See how when I clamp this, see how this side pops out? That's exactly what I'm trying to fix. So let's it's just a weird angle, man. I'm really happy these things are the same size as a damn 2x4. It makes this a lot easier. We're getting there, dudes. We're getting there. The bottom is not completely flat right now. Let me, I'm going to use the small hammer. Wait, which side is the tall side? This side, so we got to... I'm tightening up that edge on the other axis here, but I'm trying not to hit this side because the far side is the tall side. So see, we just got to bend that side into position, and I just got to figure out a good way to do it. Dude, we're so close. We were so close to getting this right. It's kind of annoying how freaking close we are. But this is what it takes, dude. It certainly didn't take this much time on the original frame rails, but yeah, what you guys said is definitely for sure. These things would have been stamped out and gone down the assembly line by now, dudes. I can get in there better with the body hammer. I think I just hammered the wrong side, but that's okay. Wouldn't it have been nice to just bend this right on the brake the first time? That would have been really cool. That would have been super awesome to do that, you know, like that the first time. It would have been great. I can't get that damn hammer in there. Maybe. I don't know if that's going to work either, but. We're in the ballpark. Definitely in the ballpark. I just got to bend these. Yeah, this one's still just a smidge higher. If I can just get that bend right, man. If I could just get in there with the damn sledge. Maybe if we do this, we can transfer it through. That's working. All right. There's a couple of things here and there, but pretty sure we're in the ballpark there. That's fine. I just got to bend those flat. I can do that with my special metal bender 5000. Or I could drop the piece on the ground, whatever. That works too. What do you think, dudes? They're still a smidge off, but if I tack weld it and bend this into position, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Let's check for fitment. Hey. Oh, wire stuck. We're stuck on brake lines. Sounds off by 1 second. Yeah, tell me something I don't know. I know it's off. It desyncs every 30 seconds. I can't figure it out. It's not even a problem because we're going to begin Kerbal shortly, so don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about the sound desync. It's still a teensy-weensy bit off, but let's check for fitment and see if we can at least get one part done today. Nah, Techno, don't worry about it. That's not me like getting pissed at you. That's me getting pissed because I can't figure out why it's
Discovery,
doing that.
go at throttle up.
Goat at throttle up. Oh. We're not very aligned on the bottom, guys. But I think that might be because this piece is a little flat. The piece isn't completely flat, so. Oh no. Yep, I fiddled with this piece too much. We're off by 1/4 of an inch off the bottom of the rail. It's way off. That's, once again, probably mostly my fault. See what happens if we try to line up the bottom. Okay. That's with the floor lined up. The bottom of the frame rail channel. That's with it aligned. Okay, yeah, we can make that work. That's not bad. It's close. Yeah, I can make that work. We can bend everything back into position. This is close enough. This bracket was kind of preventing it from lining up. But if we get these pieces to line up, the bottom lines up. That was an erroneous call on my part. Yep. If we backplate that, we're good to go. Nice. Yeah, see, I also this was on purpose, but I made this piece a little too long, so it's really having trouble fitting in there, so we get pretty bad fitment. Go at this with a cutoff wheel to give ourselves a little bit of space. I need a little bit of space here so we're gonna have a plate back here, and then the plate's gonna bend and go that way, and then we're gonna have a plate here, it bends and go that way, and then we're gonna seam and plug weld it to the back side of the frame rail channel. So this is just one step. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Once again, this piece is not supposed to line up exactly. It's not supposed to be exactly right on either side. As you get towards the back of the car, the frame rail flanges get thicker, and there's kind of a sectioned piece that matches that. So we'll zip that with the cutting wheel when we get fitment right. But I purposely make the frame rail tabs a little bit wider than they need to be, so we can subtract material. Just like this piece is a little bit long. To take the cross member and I have to pull it back a little bit to get it aligned. But we clean up some of these edges. See, there's overlap right there because that edge isn't perfectly straight either. This piece needs to live basically like right in here somewhere. Cool. Excellent, dudes. There we go. Nice. All right. That took a little while to get that right, but that'll work. That's good enough to work. Now he stops hammering. Oh, geez. Dude, I don't know what's going on with the desync. I have no idea why it's so bad today. Like, I got to restart this computer. But we're done streaming out here for the day. That's going to do it for part 31. I'm covering my mouth and just shaking my head a bunch, so it maybe something aligns or something. But I'm trying to keep my facial expression completely the same the entire time, so it's not really distracting as much. But it is distracting, isn't it? Yeah, okay, cool. Great, good. I don't know why it's so bad today, dude. I didn't change anything. I haven't changed nothing. Something's clogging up the bandwidth for this computer, or the network card's going. That actually worked pretty well. All right, cool, excellent, very good. I'm just gonna keep nodding my head through this entire sentence, so you can tell that I'm happy and elated. All right. Yeah, really, really good. Super nice. Excellent. Sugoi desu ne. Now you get the Japanese. This is top quality. Hey, well, you know, if we can have some fun, learn some things, and make you guys smile, that's good. MSC soon. No, we got Kerbal now, dude. Want to play KSP? Remember that game? Just got to do some smoothing up and fiddling around with that thing, and then that should fit pretty well. Oh, progress pictures. That's right. Got to take some pictures. Sweet. Dan, EJ, you playing Kerbal again was one of the coolest things you've done on stream. Nice. Cool. When you're not on screen, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's right. Remember, we are both ventriloquists. We are both ventriloquists, and we practice every day. He carries a basket, he carries a paper roll, and you don't have this. But it's the thing that it can, my friends, we are ventriloquists. I swing a bit more. I swing a bit less. Okay. You're good at that? Oh, thank you very much. I practice every day in the mirror. Yeah, every day. It's pretty good, right? Yeah, not bad. Yeah, pretty good. Not lagging though. If you're using a second router, set it to AP mode. 16K, if I told you my network setup, you'd probably headbutt the wall and probably be able to figure out the problem real quick. It's bad. I gotta fix it. When I first moved in to this building, I had to redo my entire office back there. Pointing again to take into account the delay. I had to redo the entire office, and in a rush to get that done, I really didn't network this right. I didn't network it in a good way. It's not networked great, but yeah. All right. I know the desync is bad. Give me, here, we'll switch to the high cam where you can't really see me talking. Give me a couple minutes here. I gotta go take a shower and just cool off for a second, and we will go get Kerbal done. Oh, dude, trying to desync yourself to that's terrible. I hate that. I hate that a lot. All right, that's gonna do it for this stream. But don't worry, we got plenty of streams left throughout the day. Yeah, got plenty left. We got to, I got to take a break. I'm gonna go take a shower real quick, clean off. It's not gonna be a long one. I'm not grabbing a bite to eat. I usually don't eat lunch. I just gotta go down, take a shower, change, and come back. So on YouTube, you're gonna have a momentary loss of signal. On Twitch, give me about 10 minutes, and then we'll play Kerbal. Let's do this. Be back in a second. Stand by for loss of signal from the office as expected.